now we move all the way to sunny Exeter for Rob and Henry, who's not Hank in any way whatsoever. It's definitely Henry, okay?
Thanks, Stuart's taking the liberty here, having known me for about, well, since we're both young. Is that a description?
Yes, absolutely.
By that we're not both still young. So thank you everyone for listening, and thank you, Stuart, for the invitation. I'm from X Squared. We're a software development company, and we are here to talk to you a bit about an idea we've had, a product we've started to develop, and we want to get some ideas from everyone here about the sort of customers we can have and how we can further develop this idea or this product. A bit of history into us. We traditionally have been a company specializing in customer data, so collecting customer data, using customer data, presenting customer data, which in many cases means CRMs. We've been working with small companies with 2-3 people up to larger organizations, people like Birmingham Airport. So we work with Birmingham Airport to collect and manage all their millions of pieces of data they get a year and make it presentable via dashboards and things like that. We're good at working with APIs, transferring data, collecting data, doing stuff with it. All was going well, and then in May last year, we hired Rob to my right.
So very quickly, just to say it's really great to be here with everybody. Thank you for the invite, and thank you for everybody who's also contributing. So I came on board with a background in web development, and also in particular collecting environmental data and sensor data, with a penchant and a massive interest in creating end-to-end IoT solutions, because I love Internet of Things and connected devices. Live long and prosper, Stuart, and all. Back to you, Henry.
And at the same time, we were also approached by a company called Admoto. So Admoto are a company that thought they would disrupt the delivery market in cities. Admoto had an idea to put advertising on delivery motorbikes, electric delivery motorbikes, and came to us saying, we've got the idea, can you develop a solution to display adverts on the back of electric motorbikes? So we did.
And essentially this end-to-end solution, just to give you the idea of what that contains, it contains the hardware. So here's something that we 3D printed, created, designed and made, which is an advertising box that geolocates on the back of a scooter and tells, it shows adverts to screens based on where it is and when they should be shown. We had to consider the whole picture and overcome about 1 million problems to make this work, including GPS reliability for the tracking, battery consumption, temperature, vibrations, and then as well as the API and the cloud side software with all the dashboarding, etc.
Just a bit of video interlude, because Stuart said he likes videos. We've dropped a couple of videos. Brief play there showing the vibration testing, and these are the actual screens in use. There we go. So they worked, they went out there, and they're now running around London and other cities in Europe now displaying adverts which are working effectively. But then they realized that advertisers don't just want to show adverts. Advertisers want to know how many people have seen their adverts. And when you've got a scooter driving through London, that's a little bit more tricky.
So in essence, it's critical for them to be able to feed back to their clients that people have seen these adverts and have actually counts on what's been seen and where. So the first thing that was attempted was to capture this data through counting eyeballs with cameras on the back of moving bikes. This absolutely failed in an abysmal ball of fire, at which point we started investigating the option of using Bluetooth low energy. And this did not fail. It's proved to be an effective method. So each and every one of us has at least usually one Bluetooth enabled device on our person at all times. Each of these devices sends out an anonymous advertising packet of data, which can be sampled and collected. From that, we can infer distance and thereby get, within 30 meters of the scooter, a fairly effective count of how many people were in the vicinity of the advert being shown.
And nothing like a good test. So I was sent to London on a bike and asked to travel around London for an hour or so to see whether technology works. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but we've got a few slides here just showing some of the data that we collected. And we in about an hour's journey, I collected 11,402 different Bluetooth signals. We applied some analysis and we worked out that we could fairly, but reasonably reliably work out how many people had seen the adverts and also the distance as well. So suddenly the advertisers had the information that they needed to show that adverts had actually been seen. Then we thought, hold on, we've now got the ability to collect Bluetooth data and count people. Wouldn't it be great if we built a little box, here we go, which we have done, which contains a battery. We can have lots of these little boxes, they're very cheap to make, and we can drop these over an area. And if you can drop these over an area, we can then gather that data and we can tell people how many people there are in an area. We can also start to work out where those people are, and we can start to show across a map population flows over an area. And we've had a certain level of interest from airports, but we've also been talking to organisers of some large outdoor events, because we can show where people are and where they're heading around at these events.
And essentially, so we know that the airports are a definite venue for this to be used. We know that city centres are. What we're essentially looking for, and the reason why we're here, is if any of you are that person or know that person, we're after leads, links, collaboration, development partners, ideas, clients that can help us take this technology forwards.
So this little box here is what we produced, and of course the portal and the screen to work with it. And that's us.
All right, thank you very much for that. I don't know why, but I'm a little paranoid after you told me all those things. Let's see where the panel goes with this one. Kerry, the honour of the first question today.
It is anonymous data, don't worry. We don't know who you are.
You're saying it's anonymous, but I'm not sure it is.
I'm just, and this probably can't, I don't know if this can be done or not, but I'm wondering if you can flip it. So instead of people are walking past and they see an advert on a scooter, because people are always on their phone, can't you just have the static advert? And then when people are on their phone via Bluetooth, they then get an offer for that thing?
You mean push notifications out? Most people,
yeah, or like put an advert to their phone as opposed to.
Most people don't allow that. They will.
Okay.
The Bluetooth signal is there all the time. You can detect that there's someone there, and the Admoto solution is working. It's showing adverts. It's all looking very good. The bit we're interested now is the ability with the people counting. It's this little box, the ability to actually start to get population data with ease. Yeah. I mean, in 10 minutes you can go in there and you can drop these around an area. They're self-contained, battery powered, and we can work out where people are.
Have you spoken to JCDecaux? Because all of their digital screens that are out of home, they count passers-by, don't they? And
no, we haven't.
We haven't. Well, that's great. Thank you. We'll do that.
I would recommend talking to them, because they do all that geo-data stuff, and they know exactly how many people you targeted with your out-of-home advert.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Kerry. Rachel, what do you make of this one? And are you as paranoid as me after that?
I think I've said this to you before, Stu. I always assume that everybody is watching everybody, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, I guess this is less of a question, more of an observation. You mentioned events might want, event organisers might want to know how many people there. Yeah. The flip side of that is local councils are very interested in knowing how many people go through events and where they are, because they have teams of people swarming around. As context, my husband works for the council that looks after Glastonbury. So they have droves of people down there making sure that health and safety regulations aren't being breached, a lot of it being based on how many people are in particular areas. So I was just thinking, I think a local council connection would probably be quite a good one for you.
Your husband sounds like a fantastic connection.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm sure he'll love having something else to follow up on for me. But yeah, that'd be, actually, I know someone else at the council who'd be a good starting point for sounding this out, who could then potentially take it a bit more widely.
That's fantastic. Thanks for that.
So, but yeah, it's it's super useful. Things like the London Underground, I'm sure would be absolutely fascinated to know where the people are at any given time. I think fire safety.
Yes, I think safety, and I also think there's a potential something I'd be particularly interested in terms of town planning and working out kind of the way people flow around an inhabited, populated centre, and peak
Yeah.
times of day and different types of business use in districts and
because we
things
track
like that.
we track the ID, the MAC address effectively, so we're able to say that someone who was here has then moved there, then gone there, and then hung about there for a while, then gone here. So we start to actually produce animations of how people are moving across an area, as well as how many people are there.
Yeah, I mean, also, I mean, developers are big commercial developments as well, I'd say, as well as town planners.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ed, this new etiquette of raising hands, I'm not sure it'll stick with us, but come on, just chip in, mate. What have you got?
Yeah, interesting. And I was involved in the business that was doing the sort of trying to get some of the kind of push marketing to Bluetooth. This is many years ago. On the airport side, I've got involved in a marketing campaign to all the UK airports. So I've got some contacts there. So I happily kind of chat with you on that. Museums and heritage are quite interested in terms of, you know, who's going through which bit, you know, numbers as well. I suppose it's an offset of events and retailers and people who manage sort of shopping precincts, shopping malls. And I don't know whether this would appeal to someone like CACI, who do a lot of the kind of data research on, you know, numbers of sort of people before a shop decides to take on a retail store in a particular town. They want to know some of the data about how many people are there, but how many people are moving around. But yeah, I could see lots of interest, and I think particularly on the sort of the transport side, because it's presumably, you know, once you swipe your ticket, you know there's a certain number of people, but if trains are delayed on the tube and others, you are going to get those kind of big build-ups and potential
they can be permanently mounted in place. They can also be temporarily, so you can literally turn them on and drop them, or we can hardwire them straight in if you need to have them there for long periods of time.
Yeah, and likewise, you know, all of the delays at the ferry ports and so forth. I think this is going to, you know, this could be, if you go after places where there are big obvious pain points, and that's causing, you know, issues for them. You know, this could be a nice sort of solution for them, other than going via CCTV cameras to see how many lorries are building up.
Ironically, we've also built for another airport. We actually built a system to let you buy fast track at the last minute to jump the queue. So we ought to be really saying this to the same client that we got that system for.
Yeah.
Before let me just say, please, guys, contact me. I have a good friend that was on that area for a few years with beacons, magnetic fields, and the likes. And I would love to understand a bit more and maybe introduce you, okay, to him, okay, to just.
Fantastic, yes.
And Pedro, there's a very good Portuguese startup, Sensei, as well, right? That might be interested in this one.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so thank you very much, you two.
Thank you.